Welcome to T.O.L Studios, and here in our 20th lesson we're going to look at the key of A major. I've already written it ahead of time just to save on time, but just to stick it back in your head again, we are following the 2 whole steps, half, 3 whole steps, half. I'll show this just once on a piano so you can still see it, but if we start on an A and we go up to a B, we've got to make it go a whole step, which it is. Then we have to make sure this follows a whole step between our second and third note, which in this case it was a B. And the reason I sharped that C is if I didn't have the sharp, then B to C is only a half step. So we've got to raise that up to get it to make a whole step. That's why you've seen it on piano. If this is an A, there's our B, so we did go up 2 keys, or like us on guitar again, going up 2 frets. So that would be your whole step. And see, if I do it in the second whole step, that's only going to be a half step. But since that's B and C, I've got to raise the C up and sharp it. And that gives me my whole step, which is going to make this now a half step, the C sharp to the D. And that's what I wrote here. Okay, then the D to the E. There's a whole step because we're skipping. We're going up 2. Same problem here. I need to do 2 more whole steps. I'm on E. The reason I've got that F sharp, if I hit the F, it's a half step. So I've got to sharp it, which gives me my whole step because we skipped that. Then same thing here. That's only going to be a half step if I go to G. I need to go 1 more whole step, which gives me F sharp to G sharp. So we skip this, and then that sets me up for the half step at the end. So therefore we've got A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. And that came from going whole step, half step, then whole step, and then we finished with the half step. Okay, so I'm going to show you an A note on the guitar so you can see this. And I always say I just pick one that's closest down here. And again, we know that's tuned, the 5th string to an A. You can use this, but I just sometimes had trouble seeing that as a fret. Just make sure you do. And then what I'm getting at is if you know it's A, then you'll raise it goes up 2 to, meaning there's a whole step to B, and then another whole step from B to C sharp. Then C sharp to D, there's your half step. D to E, there's your whole step. E to F sharp, because we need that last, we need 2 more whole steps here. So we've got our F sharp, and that's why we can't hit G, we've got to get G sharp. And then it finishes with our half step. Now again, for those of you that might get confused like I did on the open note, if you find A on this string, on the 6th, we've got E, A. You could do the same thing I just did, just you might see it easier. There's your A. So I'm going up a whole step to B because I skipped one. Then B to C sharp because C usually goes next to B. I've got to make it do a whole step. So we got whole step. That's a C sharp. Half step to the D. Now I got to do 3 whole steps. So D to E, whole step. E to F sharp, whole step, because we raised the F. F sharp to G sharp, because I raised the G up. And that's that whole step. Finish with the half step from G sharp to A. And again, remember I was saying before, we're not going to go like A, B, D flat. Because if I called that D flat, which I'm telling you later on it could be, that's a D flat, because we take it backwards. Or it's a C sharp. But when you're doing scales, if I have A as the first note, B as the second note, there's my first whole step. If I go to do the next whole step, I can't go B to D flat because I skipped the letter C. So that's why I'm going to say it's a C sharp. And then D. Same thing's going to happen up here. D to E, not E to G flat because I'd skipped the letter F, so E to F sharp. And same thing here, I'm not going to have, for many reasons, I'm not going to now say F sharp to A flat because then I wouldn't have that G right, so F sharp, G sharp, and then your A. Okay, now this is going to be true when I talk about this A is the same as this A. Okay, so when we kind of look at the diagonal patterns and the verticals and the extended, I'll show you kind of that same thing. But as I said, you'll see here in a second, because of the open notes, we're going to put some of these sharps up farther. So this pattern is going to look a little funny, but whenever we get up to the A up here and the A up here, they'll basically look the same. And I'll explain that here in a second. Okay, and that's this A and this A. Okay, so back to the open spot. If we've got this, I'm going to kind of show you first how the patterns are going to go along the guitar like we've been starting with. So if I tune the 6th string to an E, we have to think again to know what pattern we're going to use here. What number is E of the A scale? And E is going to be the 5th note. So I'm going to take pattern 5 and start it where E goes, which is my open note. Now again, when we get this up to the 12th fret, this will look like the normal pattern 5, where we kind of switch like that. Okay? Just again, these frets are smaller. But these would be our open notes again, and see, we can't reach back. If these are open notes and this is a fret, I can't reach back another fret. So if I do this, this one's going to look a little different because I have to put the sharps up here. So this is still pattern 5, but we're going to have E, and then our F sharp, and then we're going to stretch up and get G sharp. Then we're going to hit our open 5th string for A, then our B, and then C sharp. Okay, and then we're going to get an open 4th string for D, and then we're going to hit E, F sharp. See, I did it this way, so that way this finger is ready, because that's going to be a G sharp, because I have the open G, which is 0, but if I bring it up a half step, that's my G sharp, and then the A note. Then that's going to give me my B here, which is the same as the 2nd string open. So you could really play that either way. It's up to your preference here. However you see it, you could go like that. That's the 2nd string open. We could go, either one's going to work. So the reason I say that, because we're going to either way still go to our C sharp here. So whether I go G sharp A, open 2nd string B, which you can, that one definitely works, or G sharp A, hit the B here, you're still going to hit C sharp. So if that makes sense, you should practice it that way. You should also practice it that way, just so you kind of know both. Just realize they're the same. But that's going to be a D, then an E, F sharp. If I stretch it one more, G sharp. Okay, so I could do it that way, or I could have went and did it this way, like hit this one, instead of hitting the B here, open, and then did those. Okay, so again, it's either one. You could hit kind of do it this way. So it's really your preference. Pattern 5 is a little tricky, because if you've got the E, F sharp, G sharp, you could even do it with these fingers. And then your open A, B, C sharp, and then your open D, E, F sharp. But see, at this point you're going to have to come back to get that G. Then A, and again you could hit open 2nd string, C sharp, D, which means you could hit the E open as well, and then F sharp, G sharp. And you could just go backwards, open E, D, C sharp, open the B string, 2nd string, A, G sharp, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, and then your B, and then your A, the 5th string open, G sharp, F sharp, and then the open E. Okay, so that's another way you could do it. So there's a couple ways. The other way, again, you could go E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, open D, E, F sharp, and then your G sharp, A, and hit the B here instead of the second string open, and then get your C sharp, D, and go ahead and hit your E here instead of the first string open, and then see that's the same note, so you could hit it here, and then that give you your F sharp, G sharp, or if you decide to hit, just don't double hit them, that's the trick. Okay, and if you do it the second way I just showed you, it's kind of like you're taking pattern 5 and starting at the very end on these high notes, play into the next pattern. In some scales it'll work this way. You'll find this out the more you get to know them. But again, that was pattern 5 because of the E being the 5th note of the A scale. The 6th note's going to be F sharp, so that's why when you start here, that's your F sharp. So that's going to give you your F sharp, and this is pattern 6. G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. Come back for the G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then we could add a note. So when I was kind of just showing you pattern 5, as I was saying, you're kind of playing between two patterns. When we got to the high parts of this, okay, so I'm hitting the open E, and I did the E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp. If I do it this way and go A, B, C sharp, D, I'm actually in the pattern 6 at this point, because if I start here on pattern 6 on the F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, see what I'm doing now, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. So that's me basically in pattern 6. And as always, make sure you learn this backwards and do it the same fingers, be able to say the letters. But that's, again, 5 was because E's the 5th note of the A. We went to pattern 6 because F sharp's the 6th note. If we go up a whole step from F sharp to G sharp, or we knew pattern 6 is here, if we go to that next one, G sharp and A, that's the 7th note and the 1st note of the A scale. So we're going to play what we know pattern 7-1 is, and it will look like it always has to us. Okay, and that's because G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, and then just go back to A. Okay, so that's pattern 7-1. So if that's 7-1, if I'm on A, I go up. That's the 2nd note, the B. And again, looking up here, B is the 2nd note of the scale. So if I take the pattern I know is pattern 2, and I play it here, that's going to give me B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, then C sharp, D, E, F sharp. It's going to give me my G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D. Okay, so that was this pattern, pattern 2. And same thing, you should be able to play it backwards. Okay, so again, you should always go back, take your time, make sure you know these. Don't play them super fast, just make sure you get what I'm doing. The more you play them, the quicker you'll get. So pattern 2, because that's B, so if I go up to the C sharp and the D, that's 3 and 4th note, because if I'm on my A scale, A1, up a whole step to the B, so that's 2nd note, the B to the C sharp, there's my 2nd whole step, 1 note, 2, 3, so 3 and 4 are C sharp and D. Pattern 3-4 is what we're going to play here. And if I said those notes again, I'm doing C sharp to a D, E, and then I'm hitting an F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E. And again, that's pattern 3, 4. So if that's 3 and 4, if I go up from D to E, I'm on my 5th note. E again being the 5th note of our scale. And that's what we did down here on the open string. However, now it's going to look the same. This is pattern 5, the way we were used to seeing it. Because I can do this here, because if these are the open notes again down here, I don't have to stretch. I can stretch up, and I'll show you this later, but I can go back to get this fret because I have it down here. I couldn't do that down here. I couldn't go back another fret. So here I can do it this way, E, F sharp. I can get the G sharp here. It doesn't make me have to do it up here like I had to show it to you down here going E, F sharp, G sharp. Okay, because see, I can get that G sharp now down here like this going E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, and same thing applies to all these other ones. C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. And again, that's pattern 5. That's what we started with down here. Same thing's going to be true if this is 5. I come up to the next one. Now I'm on the F sharp. Same thing I did down here. If this was pattern 6. Then if I play the F sharp down here at the 14th fret, that's pattern 6. It's just what we call, that's up an octave, or the notes are one set of notes higher than what I did down on the lower frets. Okay, and then if that's pattern 6 here, if I go up to the G sharp, there's my pattern 7 and 1. So again, I might not use my pinky because these are so small. Okay, and you're just going to do that till again you run out of room. Keep in mind, I'm going to show you when you get up here, as we keep talking about this, you're going to be able to find that you can play these notes like on the 5th string. And so you don't have to like stretch up like this. You can just kind of go like this and move your way up diagonally. And I'll keep showing you this. I'm kind of showing it to you now, but I'll really explore that more. So the other thing's true too. If I took like back here in this pattern we were doing when we started, if I start on the A note and just go A to A, I'm going to have it going A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. And this is what I was kind of saying earlier. That's the only way I'm going to be able to play that down here because I can't really get all these notes different because of these sharps having to be played up here. I could kind of tell you I'm doing an extended scale because if you saw it this way, A, the open note, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. But see, I'm still gonna, I could get that G there and then the A, so that would work. Or I'm telling you, you'll probably hear this position, just rather do it this way. Okay, so it just doesn't quite look the same as what I've shown you before, but that is an A scale. If I go A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Okay, so if I do that up here, then I'm going to have, I could do it this way. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Or now I could do the vertical way. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Okay, and then that's where then those would connect, and then we'd have to see the A's up here to do what I'm showing you. So think of it this way again, I'm just trying to show you it's all basic patterns, getting those memorized, understanding the letters, making sure you understand why I'm saying these scales come from whole step, half, whole, half. And then just let me help you move those patterns around so you make it easy. We'll kind of talk about this scale a little bit in the next lesson, and then I'll try to show you the key of E major as well. Thanks for watching T.O.L.